Good morning. So I slept in. I forgot about packing and putting stuff in the car. So now I'm late. And this flight is a turbo. So nothing like being late to a turbo event. Yikes. About to hop in. Here we go. North Cal, jack stacked at Thunder Valley. Bullet number 2.
And this is why you get there on time for a turbo, because when you're late, blinds start shooting up. I try to force things immediately and I run into it. And when I say into it, I mean I over bluff all the time and uh-oh, look at all that. Chips are gone. So I'm basically forced all in, find a double up, able to steal the blinds, and then find a real double up to get just over starting stack. And now it's time to play. In my first real playable hand of the event, we have Queen 10 suited in middle position. Raise it up to 2.3 big blinds. Get my opponent on the left to make the call, and we go heads up to a flop. Flop comes rainbow, queen high, we spike top pair, check to the opponent who leads, and he hardly has anything left behind. It's basically a snap all in, let's play for stacks. And I run into it. Again, I just step right onto it. He has got a random 2 pair. Queen is no good. I'm gonna be absolutely crippled here. Don't ask me how. With my remaining chips, I'm able to cover 2 itty bitty stacks at the table. I have an ace, that's good enough for me. 3 ways, ace high is not gonna do it. I'm forced all in on the next hand. Let's go live to the peel. All right, I haven't looked yet. What are we working with? It? Just it? Bullet number 2 down the drain, that's okay. Firing bullet number 3, come back in with 12.5 big blinds. Pocket kings against ace queen. Can I hold one time, please? I can't. Pocket kings fail me over and over and over again. I'm out immediately in first hand of bullet number 3. 2024 update. The first 3 bullets I've put into tournaments have all crashed and burned. Aces versus queen jack, kings versus ace king, and then 10 off the money. I got it in for about 10 big blinds, 8s versus 9s, but my stats look good. I'm running relatively deep, almost on par for my 2023 numbers. Feels good. I'm shaking off the cobwebs after binking that MGM event and then kind of taking some time off. I feel ready to play. So here's to tomorrow. I am playing in a 200K guarantee event. I'm gonna go support Derek in his day 2 of the 100K. Now it's been a number of months since I recorded this, but if I recall, Derek took 3rd in this event, I think for like $13,000. So I'm more motivated than ever to try my best in the $200,000 event the very next day. And boy, oh boy, watching this footage back was interesting to say the least. In the first interesting hand I see, I have ace 10 offsuit, and I'm going check call on the flop with absolute air, thinking ace high may be good. Barreling off as a semi bluff for a gutter on the turn, and backing into the absolute nuts on the river, going for extremely thin value and getting paid. This is then immediately followed by getting aces and getting bluffed out of my shoes on the river, folding to an absolute stone cold bluff that really hurt. And then getting aces again, min opening and getting 0 action. And the tournament is off to a really weird start. Anything they can do, I can do better. And in middle position, limps to me. I have ace 3 offsuit, gonna bump this up, 3 big blinds. I end up getting multiple callers. We go 4 ways to a flop that checks around, to a turn that checks around, to a river that checks around. So on the river, I don't think ace high is ever good here. If anyone had anything with actual value, they would have bet it. So I'm just going to jam all in, complete air. And the all-in jam's gonna take it down. I'm here to play. Shuffle up and deal. I'm able to then take that momentum with king-queen offsuit. And just like our ace-10 hand, first hand of this tournament, backdoor into the nuts, I backdoor again into the nuts, jam river, get called, and find a good double up early on in this tournament.
You don't feel one on
Here's a doozy. Middle position, blinds are 500, 1000, 1000. I almost cover everyone at the table, second in chips. Ace king offsuit. I bump it up after a couple limpers to 6,000. I get one caller. I am in position. Flop comes king high, 2 clubs. I flop top, top. Checks to me. I bet basically pot for 10K, and opponent jams. I think this early on, I'm never folding. I guess I could maybe find a call. Sets are available, but I make the call, and I'm correct. He's just on a flush draw, and he hits it immediately, no sweat. I try to tangle with the one opponent who covered me at the table. On to bullet number 2. New bullet, new table, new chips, new me, right? In the big blind, I got a suited king under the gun, jams for only 6 big blinds. It folds to me. I have 2 invested with the big blind ante. I cannot find a fold here. I make the call. Suited king 3 against pocket 8s. Let's go to a run out. Though I'm able to hit a pair, it's smaller than the 8s. So, new table, same me. I'm already down to half starting stack. This late in the tournament, I'm gonna jam any 2 face cards, and I get a caller. With king jack, all in, I'm able to hit a pair. The pair is going to be good, and then I actually improve to a flush. I am able to double up back to starting stack, and actually probably just a little bit above. Let's see if I can cook anything up, because there is no cooking here. The blinds are flying by, and I bleed out after folding for a long time. Have to shove my baby stack with any ace, get a caller, and I'm able to river a straight to stay alive. That is tournament poker for you folks. There are lots of all-ins, and you gotta win the flips to run deep. So I'm just happy to win a flip, even if it's for a very, 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 very tiny stack. And then I'm actually able to parlay that win into another double up with almost the same hand. I got ace wheel. Ace wheel is going to be good here. And now, again, for the 3rd or 4th time in this tournament after doubling up, I am above starting stack. Can we keep it going? Can I keep my foot on the gas? I don't know. You just never know in these tournaments. You really don't. And I'll tell you what, it's quite frustrating while you're playing, but I'm having a good time. We're flying through the blind structure. Blinds are 800, 1600, 1600. I've blinded out a little bit now. Ace queen's going to find a double up. And on to the next hand where I've got 5-6 suited, where I'm able to river a flush on a paired board in a really funky pot. I do go check call on the river, take down the pot with a flush. Happy to do so. And now I've got more chips. It's rare that it feels like I finally hold and run good in these tournaments. Blinds all the way up to 1K, 2K, 2K. I open up to 6,000 for 3 big blinds, and an aggro player who has raised all in for 5 hands in a row jams on me again. Ace Jack feels like the absolute nuts here. I call their all in and they have kings. Are you kidding me? How do I just run into it like that? Even rivering top pair. I get crippled after building a stack for hours. My heart is broken right now. After calling back some bit, in this hand I'm first to open in middle position. Blinds are 1.5, 2.5, 2.5. I raised to 6K with Jack 10 off. I get one customer who's a new player in the big blind, and he's got a lot of chip. We're going heads up to a flop. That's ace 2, 3, 2 heart. The ace is definitely in my range, so when it checks to me, I c-bet for 6K. Our opponent isn't ready to fold just yet and makes the call. The turn brings in another high card with a king. That's still in my range. And if our opponent was on a flush draw, he missed. So when he checks to me again, I'm gonna lead here for 9K. We're getting a little later in the tournament, closer to the bubble. I don't think I need to bet a lot here to get the job done. Our opponent really thinks his option's over before calling again. The river completes the flush, but our opponent checks again? This could be a trap, but he'd be able to get value from all of my 2 pairs and sets that I might have in my range. So I take this check probably as a weak ace. Now the only way to win is by going for it all. I'm all in. Our opponent goes deep into the tank. Our opponent goes so deep into the tank, he's thinking for 5 minutes. Multiple people agree to call clock. Floor comes over, gives him a countdown, and he finds a fold. We're able to get a fold and take this pot down, bluffing with jack high. And here comes my time. Here comes my moment. The previously mentioned aggro player who happened to have kings when I made that call has been getting away with murder, showing bluffs, going all in pre constantly, picking up chips. So I raise over the top of their open, and again, I run into it. Their image at the table gets them paid off. I run jacks into queens, and they cover. And just like that, my tournament is officially over. Heartbreak City, population me. Laying in bed now, tired after editing. I have another event, but you guys don't want to see me lose, so I'm not going to edit that and post it. So that was my first series of the year in January. I know we're in May, going into June soon. I've played a series since. I did take a number of months off, but I think I'm going to cover everything and everything in between, plus my WSOP plans coming up in July on the next Coffee with Cooper. So let's keep it for that. Meantime, I hope everyone stays safe. Thank you for watching to the very end. Subscribe, like, do all the good stuff. Help me out. And let's prepare for a really good run in Vegas. I will see you guys in the next Coffee with Cooper.